Chapter 1, The Invitation Nobody Accepted. They call it the house that nobody dares to visit. And for decades, nobody has. Hidden by woods that grow thicker with every passing year, stands a rotting mansion. Windows like hollow eyes, a roof that sags under the weight of its own secrets. But locals warn you, no one comes back the same. Before we step inside, make sure you subscribe, because what you're about to hear will follow you long after this story ends. The first reports of this house appeared in the 1950s. Travelers spoke of lights flickering in the windows, even though the power had been shut off for decades. Others claimed they heard music, old, melancholic piano notes, drifting across the empty fields on a silent night. When curious teenagers dared each other to enter, they described a silence so heavy, it pressed against their chest, making it hard to breathe. The air inside felt different, thick and cold. Some said they felt watched from every shadow. Others swore they saw shapes darting across the halls, just at the edge of their vision. But here's where it gets worse. Every single visitor heard the exact same whisper. It was a cold voice, too close for comfort, a sound that seemed to come from inside their own mind. Don't stay after midnight. No one knows why. No one ever stayed long enough to find out. And as the years turned to decades, the whispers faded into legend. But tonight, we're stepping closer than anyone before. Chapter 2, The Locked Room. The first floor looks abandoned, broken furniture, cracked walls, peeling wallpaper. But the air feels heavy, like something is pushing against your chest. At the end of the hall, there's a door sealed with rusted chains. Nobody knows what lies beyond it. Some say it was locked from the inside. Before we go further, subscribe now, because some doors are locked for reasons you don't want to know. The closer you step, the more the air seems to change. It grows colder, and your breath fogs, even though the rest of the house is strangely warm. You can feel the change in temperature on your skin, a creeping, unnatural cold that seems to emanate from the door itself. The chain rattles faintly, a soft metallic clinking, even though you haven't touched it. The sound is almost imperceptible, but once you hear it, it's all you can focus on. Locals whisper about a family that lived here, a father, a mother, and 2 children. One by one, they vanished. People believe their last moments are trapped inside that locked room. Their final breaths, their last screams. You can almost feel their terror in the heavy silence. And then, scratches. Long, deep grooves along the door, carved into the wood. As if something had tried to claw its way out. The marks aren't covered in dust. They're raw. Fresh. Would you dare to break the chain and step inside? Chapter 3, The Mirror. In the hall at the top of the staircase, a single mirror remains standing. Its frame is cracked, but the glass is almost perfect. Too perfect. People say if you look too long, you don't see yourself. You see someone else standing directly behind you. If you haven't yet, hit subscribe, because this part will make you question what's real. The mirror reflects the hallway differently. The dust motes in the air seem to dance and swirl in its surface. And sometimes, the reflection moves before you do. One visitor swore she saw herself smiling in the mirror, even though she wasn't smiling at all. Another said the reflection waved to him before disappearing entirely into the glass. A faint handprint remained on the surface, gone a moment later. And once, when lightning struck nearby, the mirror didn't show the hallway at all. It showed the locked room downstairs, wide open. The door ajar, spilling blackness into the hall. The last thing you see in the glass is a flicker of movement, a pale, skeletal hand reaching out from the shadows behind your reflected self. If a mirror showed you your own death, would you look away or watch? Chapter 4, The Basement Steps. No abandoned house is complete without a basement. And here, it feels like the earth itself is swallowing you whole. The steps are uneven, crumbling, dust falling with every move. The deeper you go, the colder it becomes. Before we continue, subscribe, because once we reach the bottom, there may be no turning back. The smell hits first. A damp, metallic odor, like stale water and rust. And something else, something like rot. The kind of smell you feel in your throat, a thick, nauseating perfume. Shadows shift, at the edge of your light. They stretch and contract, twisting into shapes that feel too solid. The walls are carved with strange symbols, circles, spirals, lines intersecting like maps. Locals believe those drawings weren't random. They were instructions. Rituals scratched into the stone to keep something inside. Something hungry. But the carvings aren't old. The scratches are fresh. The dust hasn't settled in their grooves. As if someone, or something, is still adding to them. The stone still feels raw to the touch. And then the last step breaks, beneath your foot, forcing you to catch yourself, on the cold, damp wall. In that split second, you hear a voice. A whisper. Not from behind you, but from below. Don't go back up. Chapter 5, The Children's Room. The smallest room in the house, tells the loudest story. Toys still litter the floor. A rocking horse sits in the corner, swaying gently, even when the air is still. Before you look closer, subscribe, because the deeper we search, the darker it gets. On the walls, faint crayon drawings remain. But these aren't playful sketches. They're of tall, faceless figures, with arms too long. They stand in the yard, surrounding the house, their empty outlines, filled with scribbled chaos. The drawings repeat, over and over. Dozens of figures surrounding the house. Some are drawn with red crayon, bleeding across the wall, like fresh stains. The color is so vivid, it's unnerving. A small bed rests beneath the window. The blanket is torn, but when you touch it, it feels warm. Too warm. As if a body had just been lying there. The air here grows sweet and cloying, like old candy, left to rot. And then you hear it. Children laughing. At first soft, almost playful, a sound that should be comforting. But then more voices join in, a chorus of cruel, mocking laughter that rings off the walls and echoes in your head. It's a sound filled with malice and an ancient, bone-deep evil. The rocking horse creaks louder, the swaying becoming frantic, a rhythm to the laughter. If laughter came from an empty room, would you run or laugh back? Chapter 6, The Attic That Watches. Creaking stairs lead to the attic. Every step groans louder, as though warning you to stop. The attic is different. Dust swirls unnaturally, as if stirred by unseen movement. And in the corner sits a single chair, facing the window. Before we reveal what's up here, subscribe now, because some attics hide more than boxes. The chair creaks slowly, back and forth. But no one is sitting in it. You step closer, and a chill runs down your spine. A fresh gust of wind from the closed window sweeps through the dust. You see them. Dozens of photographs, pinned to the walls. Each photo is of a person, different faces, different years. All staring forward. And the strangest part? None of them are strangers. They are faces of people who once lived nearby. The travelers who came here. The teenagers who dared each other to enter. The family from the locked room downstairs. Some of the photos are decades old. The edges are curled and brown. Others look recent. Too recent. The people in them are smiling, happy, full of life. It's a terrifying contrast to the decay around you. And in the very last photograph, pinned dead center, is you. The picture is crisp, clear. You're standing outside the house, just as you were a moment ago. Your face holds a mixture of curiosity and fear. You realize the chair was never facing the window. It was facing the door. Watching. Waiting. Chapter 7, The House That Doesn't Let Go. Finally, you think you've reached the exit. The front door looms ahead, cracked open, light spilling through. relief floods in until you step outside. Because what greets you isn't freedom. It's the same hallway you started in. Before we finish, subscribe, because once the house chooses you, it never lets go. Every door leads back inside. Every window shows only walls. The house has folded around you, trapping you in its endless design. The geometry is impossible, the hallways looping, the stairs always leading back to where you started. You're caught in a labyrinth of rot. The whispers return, louder now. Not warnings. Demands. They call your name, urging you to join them. They echo from the walls, from the floor, from every empty room you pass. The walls breathe, pulsing like veins. The floor trembles beneath your feet. The house is a living, breathing entity. And it's hungry. And just when you think you've found another way out, you see it, the mirror again. Only this time, your reflection doesn't wait. It steps forward. Its eyes are empty, its smile is wide, and its hands press against the glass. Reaching through the glass. Pulling you in. And the last thing you hear, before the darkness swallows you, is the same whisper every visitor remembers, now a final, chilling decree: don't stay after midnight.